Welcome to AlleyOopDunks Playoffs Edition. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Konstantinos, and hi, everybody. We are going to talk about the matchups in the playoffs and maybe give our predictions, as everybody does these days. And then on the second section, we're going to build our teams from the scratch from the playoffs, as we haven't even looked at them yet. So we're going to try and make it more exciting by doing that live. So yeah, everything is wrapped up and all the games are starting this Tuesday and the second um, round on Thursday, if I'm correct. So it's gonna be a very exciting first week. So how do you see the matchups? Let's see. Let's start from first versus the eighth, Olympiacos versus Fener. Konstantinos.
Yes, Olympiacos finished first with a record of 24 wins and 10 losses. Um, they had an amazing year. Olympiacos had an amazing year. They played really well. They managed to end with a 7 wins, 3 losses, last 10 games. On the other hand, you have Fenerbahce with a record of 19 wins and 15 losses. You know, you will remember the last games it was between Zalgiris, Fenerbahce, and Baskonia was pretty much on the game and on the play to get in the playoffs. But Olympiacos beat Baskonia on the last game, and therefore Baskonia was eliminated. However, we have to mention that Baskonia was one of the most exciting teams to watch this season.
Was that like one of the most fun teams to watch that didn't make it to the playoffs? I think maybe in some years, 5, 10 years down the road, we're gonna say, okay, this is one of the legends, Baskonia of 2023, and how they missed the playoffs. I mean,
Exactly.
maybe everybody will talk about the biggest event that is the FS staying out of the playoffs, the reigning champions, the back-to-back champions, and one of the best dynasties we've seen lately. So 4 years of dominance, 4 to 5 years of dominance, excellent team. But all this came to an end. So we have these two amazing things, and of course, when the champions are out, and they are overshadowing anything else. And Basconia is, I think they are a little bit overshadowed because they were pretty impressive for
To be
first year with Penarol.
to be honest, Bill, that's the difference. For example, FS didn't have one of the best years this year, so they they were eliminated from the playoffs. But I believe still the EuroLeague fans will remember Basconia because they were really good team this year. So their way of playing, they made everyone so excited. They just wanted to see this team play. On the other hand, you had Anadolu FS with, well, some issues within the team, internal issues. So that may affected the performance of the whole team, despite the fact that in the summer, when they acquired, I'm sorry, when they
Right.
acquired and they signed Clyburn, exactly. You just said Clyburn, Shane Larkin, Vasilij Misic. That's big three right there. That's big three. They
Yeah.
will just dominate. But
Yes. And
Basconia
and
was
Z and Zizic as
exactly.
a new five. Even Polonara was having a second chance for revival, let's say, of the career. Um, to be honest, I think, yeah, squad-wise, maybe it seemed even stronger than before.
Yeah, on the
But yeah,
paper. Yeah, on the
on
paper,
the paper,
yes.
yeah. But yeah, so
But
with
let's go
this
back to the
happening,
players.
then
Yes, let's go back
with
to the
this
playoffs.
happening, then
So
we
you
have
see,
actually Fener eight.
yeah, we have Fenerbahce in the eighth place with a 19-15 record. But the last 10 games, they had 4 wins and 6 losses. They had some injuries. For example, Scotty Wilbekin was injured, so they miss Wilbekin. But that gave the chance and the opportunity to Tyler Dorsey to have more playing time and get adjusted with the team. I think this matchup, Olympiacos versus Fenerbahce, is one of the most open matchups, let's say. It can go either way. Based on the way the teams played, I would say Olympiacos have the edge to to win it, to win the series.
I wouldn't call it the most open, to be honest. Probably, I would think is the most. I think probably is the only one that I see not going for sure to 5 games. I think potentially the only one that could be a sweep, maybe from Olympiacos, or maybe Fener can still get a win, maybe at their home and go into a 4-1. But I struggle to see how, with the recent record and the way they were playing on the second half of the year, of the season, would Fener really go against the well-oiled scene as Olympiacos playing at this point. Olympiacos is it's very impressive the way they play. Is like everything works automatic pretty much, and they come on top of most of the games with quite ease. So also, I think they dominated the games against Fener in the regular season. Um, Potentially, you would see that Itulis has the players and can maybe prepare something fresh, and then um, out of nowhere we actually see a very strong Fener. So in terms of, yeah, I would agree with you in terms of roster. Maybe they is very open because Fener roster is really good, and um, potentially on the papers, yeah, I can go down even to 5 games. But I think the performance of the court mm, probably sees a 3-1 or 3-0 for Olympiacos, in my opinion.
I would say 3-1 to 3-2, but it's very close because of coach to this. He can, he as you said, he can prepare a plan that the team, if the team believes on his plan, then there will be a harder team to beat for sure for Olympiacos. But Olympiacos this season is every player on this team knows his role and they are on a mission. They look clearly that they are on a mission and they have, Vejankov is exceptionally well, if not the MVP of the season, if not. But for Olympiacos, in my opinion, the one player that has to get back to rhythm is Slukas. They need Slukas in order to beat Fenerbahce. And
Yeah,
Slukas does hasn't had the game yet, so far after a long period of time that you say, hey, he is his old self, he's back. So they need the good Slukas in order to beat Fenerbahce, definitely.
yeah. I think lately he seems like he's playing very quality minutes. Potentially in the series, they want him to get more time because he still performs well, but probably they need him more time on the court in these big games. Maybe a chance for him to get ready for Final Four. But yeah, I think in the end of the day, we both see then Olympiacos winning that series, right?
Yeah,
Um,
agree.
One way or another.
Mhm.
Yeah. So then we're going to Barca against Zalgiris. Um, Zalgiris had a late push. You can see a 6-4 last 10 games. They utilize very well their home court, 13 wins. Um, and the play against Barca that already is offering the Final Four tickets um, to their crowd, so to their fans. So I would say Zalgiris is a very well coached team. They play as a big unit. Max Vitis did an amazing job, and I think you're gonna say all about it. When you lose your best player, even a candidate for the MVP at that time,
Agree.
like Evans, um, and still with the same players and just a quality, a couple of moves in the windows, trade windows, you still go and you manage to keep the team there. I mean, even if you had to, some results to come your way and you have to win the big games. I mean, you did your part, and it's still, we talked about Basconi, but it's still fair. You're there, and you do deserve it.
Well,
for all that spirit you've shown.
to me, sorry to interrupt, but to me, uh, Max Vitis is the coach of the year. I told
Oh,
you privately, but to me, he is the coach of the year. Not because he got to the playoffs, but as you said now, you lose your best player, definitely your best player. So then you don't lose time, and within a margin of 2 weeks, let's say, then you have a plan. You make a plan, and they sign Taylor, who was released from FS, and Polonara, who was released from FS again. So you make up a plan within 2 weeks, which is very short time, and you bring two quality players, and then you get to the playoffs. So to me, it's very important when you see the coaches. If you want to have the coach of the year, he managed to adjust the whole game of the team. He lost his best player. He acquired two new players, but he managed to get these two players with the team, with the flow with the team, how they play. So to me, that's why Max Vitis is the coach of the year.
yeah, is debatable. Um, I wouldn't choose him as the coach of the year, but potentially what he did maybe deserves that. But then, if I see as a whole project, um, considering also the budget of the team, the way they dominate their opponents, and the way everything works on the court, pretty much as a good oil machine. As I said before, I would give it to Bartzokas from Olympiacos because he has considerably lower budget for his roster than Barcelona or Real Madrid, and has won them both, if I remember correct, in all the four games. But definitely the one in Spain, right? Um, and yeah, that's not easy. It's a close one because, as you said, you put everything there for Maxvidis. Yeah, what he did it is amazing. Just maybe if we say we're gonna restart and play all the games again from the scratch, I would still think that Olympiacos will be up there, but I wouldn't be sure that Zalgiris will make it there. So um, yeah, for that reason, I think, in my opinion, would be fairer, slightly fairer to give it to Barzokas. Also, we had other candidates, maybe like Katas from Maccabi, and of course, Zelmiro Bradovic from Partizan.
Yeah, the candidate,
Um,
the candidates can be a lot from these years because we had an exciting, really exciting EuroLeague regular season.
mm, yeah.
But to me, as I said, what Max Vitis achieved with the players he had and with the unfortunate injury of Evans, he still managed to get his team back and just rolling.
Yeah, yeah. Def- But how do you see the matchup with Barcelona?
Yeah, but yeah, on this I see, I see Saras. I know his love is Zalgiris. His first love is Zalgiris, but I think Saras will go to Final Four. Barcelona will go to Final Four. Um, I see a 3-0 maybe for Barca. If Zalgiris wins a game, it will be in Kaunas. I will be really really amazed if Zalgiris wins in Barca.
So yeah, Zalgiris in the regular season, you remember, won the game against Barca
Hmm.
at one point.
Hmm.
But my point earlier about everything in Barcelona seems, we are as the whole atmosphere is okay. Now we are going to the playoffs. We play
Hmm.
Zalgiris, we're going to the playoffs. So I'm not sure how they will see the game. Of course, they are professionals. They have a great coach, and most of the players they know about playoffs. So of course they know how to get and win these big games. But if there is any small chance of complacency, I think you can't win in Zalgiris Arena. So agree with you. Of course, Barcelona has the upper hand, and I see them going to the Final Four. So the winner on this, I see to be Barcelona, but probably agree. Maybe in Zalgiris, I can see one win, maybe on the first game, especially if they're coming after two very good wins in Spain. And then there is some complacency, then Zalgiris can get the one in Zalgiris Arena. But still, I think probably is going to be 3-1 for Barcelona.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. The same. And then we have Real Madrid versus Partizan. So in this matchup, you have Željko Obradović versus his former team. He coached Real Madrid in the past. You have,
Not yeah, but that's way in the
yeah,
past, right?
that's years ago, but
You won't even
still,
consider it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have I, I, I believe one of the best matchups, which is Tavares versus Lesort. You have the big fight of the big men. Um, and what can I say? Now this matchup is so, to me, it's very very open. This matchup, I believe, in my opinion, Partizan is one of the teams that the top teams they didn't want to face in the playoffs. Now
Mm,
is one of the teams that you want to avoid in the playoffs. They have the
yeah.
coach in, even if they do not have the home court advantage. They have, when you go to play in Belgrade, the atmosphere is electric. It's like when you enter the court, you just feel it. You just feel the pressure instantly from the stands. That's because all the fans are behind Partizan.
Yeah.
So it's very very open to me. Even if you see the regular season, is Real Madrid's regular season was 23 wins, 11 losses, and Partizan is like 20 wins, 14 losses. So one game, it's just one game. Real Madrid finished with 6-4 in the last 10 games, and Partizan 7-3. Partizan was on a roll in the last games, definitely. Um,
Yeah,
but
it's like a usual Zelimir Obradovic team that is been
exactly, to,
very ready for anything in the second half
mm,
towards the
mhm.
playoffs.
it,
Um,
it's a big chess game for me. It's a chess game. It's
um,
every move matters in this. On the court, every move matters. Every
so
Yes,
yeah, no, I was sorry. Go on.
yeah,
Every move.
in my opinion, this game, this matchup, for some reason, maybe not the key players, but the role players will determine how this matchup will go. And what I mean by that, for example, Real Madrid, will Sergio Yul have one of his, he can have a 20-point game. That easy. He has the quality to do it. He's that good of a player.
That's with
We
15 minutes time.
Yeah, yes.
That's yes.
Is Rudy Fernandez gonna play again and gonna score like a crazy 3-pointer, or have a good defense that will be crucial for the game? Is Kozer gonna play again a crucial role for Real Madrid? On the other hand, is Partizan. For Partizan, you can expect Lesor, you can expect Kevin Pander, you can expect Dante Exum to have a big game, of course. But what about the other players? Because you have also Papa Petro there. He has experience from EuroLeague games. He has to show this experience on the court, despite the fact that he does not have a good season. That's what I mean. The other players have to step up.
I have to say though, there is not even a comparison between the two rosters because Real can look at the edge of their say of their team and just get the 12th player. And the 12th player, you get him in, and he will change the match. He will be an X factor.
Yeah,
Um, so
I agree. They have more deep
I don't
roster.
see. Yeah, I don't see. Partizan having that depth, and maybe that's a problem there because I completely agree with you. I can see that matchup going to probably 5 games and everything being decided in a small detail. But the question here is, um, how do you maintain your starting five, your 5, 6 players that you use mostly as Partizan, playing 30 to 35 minutes on a back-to-back games? So you have a game, and then within 48 hours you have another game, and then I don't know if the weekend they have any games at their countries.
Hmm.
Maybe they get some playing time, not much, of course, and then you come back again and play another two the next week. So I think it would be important the way that you share the minutes to the players.
Hmm.
So that's maybe one disadvantage that Partizan has. Not only they have to get a win in Spain, but they also have to protect the players. Keep them fresh all the way to get to the 5 games. Um, However, you would say, I think you were saying earlier at the start, Tavares versus Lesort.
Hmm.
I think probably that's the only center um, in all these 8 teams that Lesort, we would say he has a small disadvantage due to how amazing Tavares is in uh, size and the way that he can cover defense pretty much all the paint. But I think there comes the coaching part when you were saying you have a chess game, and probably Zelimir is one of the best to get plays for undersized centers or get them involved, especially in the big games. So if they manage to hit on Tavares on the Tavares legs with some very good pick and rolls, if they drag him a little bit out, maybe I can see again Lesort doing all the things that we know he's doing. It would be a very very exciting matchup. Also, I can see the forward of Real being decisive, especially players as Yabusele and as Hezonia, because of course I expect Deck to be there and be the driver.
Yeah,
But
and
I
also
think yeah,
Hanga. I forgot to mention him, and also Hanga.
and a Hanga that that he's used as uh,
Point
as the
forward.
organizer. So it's gonna
Also,
be it's gonna be amazing game
it's gonna be a great, great series,
series,
I
great
believe.
series.
Um, knowing and to your point, knowing and seeing Obradovic teams through the years, I believe he will go for game two in Madrid to win game two. And as you said about the matchup between Tavares and Lesort, and because coaching is very, very in a chess, you have to be there every move matters, as I said earlier. I will not get surprised if Obradovic starts Lesort from the bench.
Mm,
So he brings him from the bench, but then he can start Smilagic, for example, at the
yeah.
five, so he can, get a foul or two fouls out of Tavares, and then you bring Lesort in. So Lesort then will have the space to, you know, start be productive because Tavares with one or two fouls, then he will be more, okay. If I get a third, then we have an issue as a team because don't forget Poirier had a surgery I think 2 weeks ago or three. So I don't know exactly the status if he's back or not. But if he's not back for the first two games, that means that Real has Tavares and then Cornelier at the five. Which again, this shows the depth of the roster. Real Madrid has an amazing depth of the roster. But still, I will not get surprised if you see Lesort or one of the main players from Partizan start of the bench. It will be one of the tricks that Zelko,
Yeah.
will apply.
You mentioned earlier about potential players stepping up. I was thinking about Madar. Maybe he doesn't have the best of the seasons But I think because the expectations are high,
Mhm.
but maybe you in this kind of series you need to get the unexpected. You should get someone unexpectedly, getting a high performance. I agree 100% though on the comments around the Stark Arena. Um, yeah, the atmosphere is electric. I don't see how you miss a game there. It would be very, very tough. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying I believe 5 games, depending which game Partizan would able to steal or not, or maybe Real wins all of them. So, but if I have to choose one to get it to the final four, I think I would just go for the surprise element, and I will go with Partizan here. Um, I know it would be really tough, but something tells me that maybe.
Um, I agree. I will go with Partizan only because of the coach, only because of Obradovic, because he has this unique approach that he will get the maximum out of his players. He can do that. He can get the max, as you said about Madar, for example. I was thinking not Madar, to be honest. I was thinking Abramovich, the other guard. To be honest, he has to be, let's say, the X factor for Partizan. But again, Madar can be the X factor as well. It's
And
part of
Anducis could go big
exactly. He
if
has
he gets
also the experience
one.
from playing, in Monaco as well. He has the experience of playing in other leagues. Uh, but Zelgo has this approach of getting his team ready to play in the playoffs. Even if Real Madrid goes to the final four, they will have to go to the fifth game. And if you go to the fifth game, you have to be ready for everything against Partizan.
Mm, yeah. Also, I mean, we didn't mention it would be nice to see Musa keep on the great, amazing season he has into the playoffs. It will be
Yes,
a test for him.
yes, he has to show, like, to continue because he had a great regular season. He's
Yeah,
he's one of the um, best players, but you know he has to, as you said, he has to prove that, hey, I'm here to stay. I'm EuroLeague material.
yeah. Well, he's EuroLeague material. It's not about the question, but it's like I am the leader. Actually, yeah. I think that's a statement. I am the leader, and I'm gonna guide you to the final four.
Hmm.
Cool. So the next one. So we both gave Partizan in the end
Hmm.
here as well,
Hmm.
right on
Yes.
the edge.
Yep. Yep.
And finally, the last matchup is Monaco versus Maccabi Tel Aviv. Um,
Hmm.
just look at one statistic on this table. Last 10 games of Maccabi, 8-2, the best record on any team on these playoffs. So we are talking about potentially the most hot team right now. We are talking about Lorenzo Brown and Baldwin Garduo. And we're talking about Nebo being exceptionally good um, all of these last 10 games. And we are talking about players like Sorkin that they done the big step up. So Monaco we know from last year. They did well, and now we know the amazing guard duo. I see amazing games happening there. You have James, you have Lloyd, you have Okobo. It's like an all-star guard line. Amazing. Like think about these 5 guards are playing each other on that matchup. It's just really exciting to see.
Hmm.
I think. I think again. I see 5 games potentially. Um, I'm not sure where to give the edge because um, Maccabi, as we said, is the most hot team. On the other hand, it struggles when it plays out of home. So as you can see, another thing here for Maccabi, although she's the best in the hot streak, she is the worst in these teams when you're playing away. Only 5 wins. Um, but at the same time, has the best home record with 15 wins.
Mhm.
And then you see another team, Monaco, with 8 wins and 9 losses out of home. So if I put everything, all of this data together, I can think that potentially both of these teams can break each other home. And uh, I would say it all comes down how strong will be Maccabi at their home. If they can really keep their 2 games at home and they don't lose these 2 games that also have one of the most amazing arenas. Um, so potentially they can do that. Then I give them a chance on getting just 1 game, although they don't have the best record out of home somewhere in the Monaco. But I could say exactly the same thing for Monaco. So this is the one I'm completely 50-50. Maybe I give the 50.1 edge to Maccabi, although they're playing out of home, just from the streak how great they're playing lately.
Yeah, I agree. I would give the slight edge to Maccabi as well, but this matchup is, let's say, the matchup of the guards. On one hand, you have Mike James and Jordan Lloyd, and on the other hand, you have Lorenzo Brown and Wade Baldwin. So both very, unpredictable duos. They can do anything on their days. Anything. They can score combined 50 points, for example, or more. Um, but in this case, I will give the edge to Maccabi because they finished strong the regular season, and also, um, I believe, well, they have as I said about Partizan, they also have an electric atmosphere when you play in Maccabi's home court. Um, so I believe Maccabi can steal a game away in Monaco, and then they can go back to their home court and just win the series.
However, I wanted to add something we talked before this recording that um, on the 2nd of March, Monaco won by 19 points at their home against Maccabi. That was before this hot streak of Maccabi starts. Um, so yeah, a very very balanced matchup.
I agree. It will be again, Real Madrid Partizan and Monaco Maccabi are two of the best matchups to see and to watch in these playoffs. Definitely.
Yeah, cool. So we then to sum up, we think
So yeah, we have the final four. Our final four. It will be Olympiacos, Barcelona, Partizan, and Maccabi. In this case,
amazing. And I think the way the brackets go is gonna be a
Barcelona,
well,
Partizan, and Olympiacos, Maccabi.
yes,
Mhm,
correct. I
mhm.
think is that yeah. But let's keep it there. We don't need
Yeah,
to give any more
it's
predictions.
predictions again. It's
Yeah.
our
As
predictions and
yeah, you
suggestions.
mean we called 2 out of 4 on 5, going on 5 games, and pretty much both of these that are going on 5 games is 50-50. So it could go either way, right? The only clear favorites that we see is Olympiacos and Barcelona at this point. Um, cool. So with that, we can move on and go into our usual section with our teams. So the difference this time is that we don't have our team ready, so we're gonna build it right now. So that's how we end up. That's the AlleyOopDunks, and that's how we end up the season. As you can see here, um, with Vesenkov doing his usual thing as a captain, Campazzo doing quite well, Thompson, etc. But you see all these red things, so that means everyone we have pretty much has to go because they didn't make it to the playoffs. um, apart from Vezenkov. So let's go on around 35 and see what we can do. So we have 120 credits. So what I will do first is I will um, unload the team. I don't think there is a button to do that fast. So I'm gonna just get rid of everybody. Of course, Vezenkov will stay in. Um, and if we think our predictions just earlier,
It looks like the red team.
yeah, um,
We have a coach
we're
in
gonna
Veselko.
I think we're probably keeping the coach as well, or we wanna go for
I would go
um,
for Saras, to be honest.
we go for Saras versus Algiris instead,
Yeah, I would go for Saras.
because money wise it's so closest to,
Yeah,
so it's not a big difference. Okay, let's go for Saras, and then Vezenkov is there, and potentially what we need to have is some kind of balance between turn one and turn two. Maybe six players on turn one and four on turn two, so we can have the best placement for the second games on Wednesday. So, is there any player that you will definitely want to have in? Should we start with that instead of going by position?
well, as you said, we keep Sasha Veznekov for sure.
Yeah, and we have
Um,
91 credits.
19. I was thinking, to be honest, yeah, um, I am between Mirotic, um, Exum as well, Dante Exum. Um, I expect,
That
yeah,
against Algiris, 28 points, Mirotic. But he didn't really do anything else. Two rebounds, one steal, one
yeah,
turnover, four missed shots only, at 27 minutes. So he played 27 minutes and he scored 28 points. Amazing, amazing usual Mirotic there.
yeah,
Um,
and he has,
recently, the last three, he didn't do amazing in terms of fantasy, just
yep,
his normal.
but he has to play like this versus Zalgiris now in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um, I was
it's a good.
thinking, yeah, and I also was thinking Exum. Um, he's a
Yes,
strong guard. He's a strong guard. Um, with some impressive games lately.
he scored
Uh,
17 points in Spain on the
mm,
first game. And then
yeah,
let's
17 in Real and yeah, around
15,
13.
and then 15. So he averaged 16 points this year versus
Mhm.
Real. Um, so that looks like a obvious candidate for us.
Yeah, I was thinking these two, to be honest.
Hmm.
If you have any suggestions,
I'm thinking Baldwin as well,
hmm
but then the first game is in Monaco. Last time there, he had 22 fantasy points. He scored 17, had six rebounds, three assists, two steals. You remember that was the very bad game for Maccabi, but he was playing alone pretty much. Um, but yeah, but that's not a home. Also, the last three of his are not the best,
and
but
yeah,
you can see how amazing he's doing this stretch of the last games in assisting. Also, um, he's the rest of the team. Look at this amazing 8, 10, 6, 7, 7, 8, more than 8 assists average since around 29. Um,
he was a force for Maccabi, definitely.
yeah. So the thing is, both Exum and Baldwin are playing away.
hmm
Mirotic playing at home, and we have Musa as well playing at home.
Yep, Musa
Um,
had plus 23 versus Partizan at Partizan.
22 points.
And on the first game, I believe he had 15.3 or, yeah,
Yeah,
15.4.
14 points
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
15.4 fantasy points, I mean.
So another, I mean, from this page, everyone is a candidate. Why not Lesort, right?
Exactly. And Lesort has a big game versus Real, if I remember correctly.
Maybe the only one I would avoid is James and
Me
Brown.
too, because he's very unpredictable. Not because he cannot do it, but he's very
Yeah.
unpredictable. He can do 25 fantasy points, but also he can do 10 or 8, depending on
Okay.
age.
So in that case, that's a difficult one. Should we do then first the cheaper versions, or we just go with two, three players and then we see what we left with?
It's okay if you want. If we can go up to 4 credits, for example, if you want the cheap options, and then we can fill some, minimum credit players to see how they, um, what do you
Yeah.
believe? For
So
example,
maybe
one of the,
except of center because we want
yeah,
to center.
exactly. In my opinion, one of the guards that I would put with 4 credits is Isaiah Cannon from
Mm.
Olympiacos. He had a big game versus Fenerbahce. With if I remember, 20 fantasy points. 23.1.
Oh,
If you see, yes.
yeah, score 20 points.
He had a big game, and he Olympiacos needs him definitely in this series because he will be the go-to guy if they want to, you know, up from the perimeter to open the defense. So I think he will have the chances.
Yeah, from what I see also, Kozer is 4.5. Another player that could be an X factor, as we mentioned earlier,
Mhm.
but he hasn't really played much. So versus Partizan, you see only 2 points there and minus. Just checking Cohen. He's someone that takes some playing time. So we're versus Monaco. The thing though with Cohen is I'm not sure if he will take the time if Poitras is back. So maybe I will avoid Cohen now that I'm thinking about it. I think, yeah, I
Uh,
definitely agree. And Dimsa also seems a good idea.
and Dimsa is a good idea. I would
4 point.
try Canon because it's 4 credits. That's why I just said. But yeah, it's
Mm.
4.1 for Dimsa.
And Dimsa is 4.1. Yeah, not a big difference. -3 though versus Barcelona. Um,
And on the first game, minus 0.9.
-0.9. But we know Barcelona, yeah, usually plays quite well defense,
Yeah,
um, especially on the guards.
I would go
So
for Isaiah
Hannah,
Cannon just to
yeah,
be, you know.
yeah. Let's get him in. Let's put him here on the reserves.
Hmm.
And should we try another reserve as well?
Yeah,
Potentially from forward?
from forward. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So Da Silva,
he doesn't have one of the steady seasons. Let's say
Rudy is just 5. And Kylie Kuric is just 4.5.
Courage. I was thinking of Kyle Courage because Abrines is injured. We don't know how long he'll be off. Also, Higgins and Vesely are injured, but they are on their way back on the recovery. But
Hmm.
Courage seems like a nice option to have.
So last 3 games got some playing time 20, 25, and 8 versus Valencia. So yeah, I think potentially Kuric could be one to consider. Again, we talk about Cesar. Um, I'm not sure about Makundu if he really gets the playing time. Uh, Havana,
I
isn't it still out? Shouldn't be red.
I think he's still out. First time I
Yeah,
see this yellow sign, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh, we have Hanka, another player that will get quite lots of playing time.
yeah, Hunger will get time.
Um, and especially because they need someone tall to play there, the defense on next
If you if we bring
Kuric.
Courage, for the
Yeah.
beginning, just to see how we can, build up the team.
Yeah, because Martin that I can see and Sorkin that they're really good.
Yeah,
So you
Sorkin is
can
another
start
candidate, but
already.
he's 8.1, so we will spend three more credits.
Yeah. But let's get Kuris then,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, let's put him here on the reserves. And now,
82.4.
so we try now with maybe the center. We definitely need a one good center.
Yeah, true.
Okay. Wow, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Nebo is the most, I think, in best form right now.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
You can see from 27 on, from 28, he switched on.
Yeah, and
Um,
rebounding, he's like a monster on
oh yeah,
rebounding. So definitely, Nebo is an option.
it's an option. And if the game goes well for him, he can also have high time, playing time. As you can see, sometimes he gets 28, 29,
Yeah.
even 32 versus Real.
I- I-
Um,
For example, versus Virtus on the 31st round, he got 17, 18 minutes, but he got plus 20 fantasy points. So
and to be honest, 12.1 is quite cheap.
yeah,
If you think
for
that
from the
one
top tier
all
centers,
is
yeah,
12.5, right?
yeah.
Mm, but what about Lesor though? 31.9 versus Real on this decisive game. Um, and on the first round, just plus 10. Um, but he had only played 17 minutes. That was his lowest minutes in the year. Um, what do you think? So then we get Lesort.
Uh, Lesor.
Maybe we put him in and we see how the credits go, and then we know he's the one to come out if we don't have enough.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, we'll wait for the second center. I was thinking getting Nipo, but then we need some more guards here,
We,
right?
we definitely need a good guard. Definitely. If we need a good guard, that's why I said Exum with 14 credits is a good option.
Yeah, I think we need Exum from what I see here. Um, definitely agree.
And then we have 51 for how many players? Five.
5 players. Oh, that's a tough one.
If in this case, I was thinking if we go for another forward like
Mm.
Sorkin or because
Um,
Sorkin has
let's
8. Except if
mm,
if you want a top tier, then that's different.
maybe we get someone from middle tier that we trust more, so we
Hmm.
see how much credits left. Um, from this page, I would only think Martin. I'm not sure if Poitras is okay.
I
As we,
know
yeah,
Poitras played for Maccabi on the National League, and he had 13 points, if I remember. And I remember how many, 5 or 6 rebounds. He had a good game. On his return. Um, yeah, Butkevicius to me is.
he's definitely gonna play there 30 minutes, right?
Hmm.
25, I think so.
Hmm.
The problem is
8.8 on the
potentially the
first.
matchup. Yeah, Martin could also do well, but maybe not for 7.2. Um, yeah, it seems like Sorkin is our.
I would go for Sorkin. He had 2 very good games versus Monaco, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Sorkin is probably the best to go. Okay,
Hmm. Yep.
okay. And then
43.5.
um, and then how is the balance now? We have three. players from one day and three from the second day.
Hmm.
This the three from the first are playing in the main team, in, in the starting five potentially. So maybe we need now one guard and one forward. Maybe I mean it doesn't really mind the position. We just need another really good player now, or unless we do one more um, mm, similar position as we did before with someone in the middle market.
For a guard, for example, and then you we go for a guard, center, forward.
To be honest, any position, right?
Hmm. Okay.
Any position. Um, so anything less than 10 potentially,
Hmm.
right? Okay, let's see. Let's say less than 11. Okay. Um, Here is a very interesting situation, but then sometimes he explodes, sometimes he doesn't do well. There is
Hmm.
Hezonia there, La Provitola we've seen before.
He has only had a
It's
good game in the league, by the way.
There is Nanali as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you go to page 3, just to see, I, I,
Chekubaitis.
I believe the next forward needs to be one of the top tier for us because we have Sorkin and Kuric as mid-level and cheap options. Yukubaitis is a nice option for a guard
Yeah, and it's
for a
only
bench.
7.2.
I think we
Um,
can we can we can try
yeah, let's try.
Yukubaitis. I believe um he will get minutes versus Zalgiris.
Yeah,
So now how
and
many credits
so
we
now we
have
have
still?
36.3. It's a very tough one. Um,
Uh,
so we go to the top players and see which one we want, maybe because we can only have one top player.
Maybe we can. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Um,
And there is still Mirotic, there is still Musa, still Baldwin.
look. If we go for Mirotic, then we will have exactly 20 credits to spend for two positions: one guard, one center.
Mm.
Because it's 16.3 and we have 36.3.
By
And
the
we have,
way, Hayes Davis and Colson is 13.2. Sorry to interrupt you, going.
yeah. If we don't go for Mirotic, how about if we go? To be honest, I was thinking if we have Nebo as our second center,
Mm.
and then one of Hayes, Davis, Colson, or Pander for forward because they have the same credits. How many
Uh,
credits are remaining? I don't know about you.
yeah, I think it's a better idea than having a Mirotic and then you don't have any more players.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. I would like to spread it for the three positions instead of giving 16
because
forwards.
for the second day, if we want a captain, we have a Zenkov instead of
Yeah.
Mirotic. Um, yeah, so I think I'm with you. Let's see. So if we say we put Nibo,
Yep.
where's Nibo? Nibo is on the third. Nibo there.
And then
Also
for
playing the first day. That's good for us. For the we keep them out. It's better
Mhm.
score. And
And
then
then
we
we
need Carter forward. So
yeah, got it forward. And we have 24.2. So 12.1 credits for each each position.
that's not bad at all. Um,
So we if we want we can spend more for the forward and then give less for the guard, for example.
yeah. So from I mean,
Even Deck. I was
thinking
seeing
about
Deck.
deck as well. Yeah, deck versus Real. Versus, versus Partizan. I meant 23, 17 points.
7 rebounds.
Again, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. What happened on the other game? It 16 points. Again, 23.1. Mm, I think I will probably go with deck. There is, though, Hayes Davis, Colson, and Panther, that all of these three, I would love to have them.
If we have Deck, how much do we have?
Yeah, let's try deck to see how much remaining. So 11.3 for
11.3.
a guard and 11.3 for a guard.
So less than 12.
So we have can have La Provitola, Kalathis, McKissick, Dorsey, Higgins, Taylor. It's a tough situation now. Um, it's a tough situation because potentially you want to have, yeah, you would go something between here's Lucas Okobo woke up, so you needed something
Yeah.
between or Satoransky, so you needed
At least Satoransky.
12.5 to 12, yeah, and we have 11.3.
In this case, do you do you think if we have another player between Sorkin or Yokubaitis, instead, and we keep Deck in this case?
Okay. Yes, definitely. Between Sorkin and Yakubaitis, huh?
Like for example, if we do not have Yokubaitis, would you like Taylor from Zalgiris? I think it is 5.8 credits.
5.8, and then we can actually have more credits for the guard
Hmm.
because I was looking at Taylor as well. He was just winging at me, or even Hilliard, right?
Or even yeah,
Um, just the guards versus Barca, it's so difficult to play against Barca defense. Um, now Hilliard, not sure if he will take the playing time. 17, 15 minutes. If you take 15 minutes, Hilliard also becomes good solution. There is also Larenzakis and Andrusis if we want to go that way instead of Hilliard. So Larenzakis versus Fener had 11 points in 22nd round. Um, and he had 12 points on the 13th round. So both games he scored and he played 16 minutes and what was the other? FPB 16 and 9. So even with 9 minutes, he managed to get 11 points.
hmm
I think with 5.1, you also get more credits remaining.
yeah. If you try Larenzakis, so how
He
many
plays
credits?
points.
Yeah,
Okay. Everyone we have here is T1. Perfect. So we just need,
and we have 13.4, so technically we can even bring Lloyd
yeah,
from
yes,
Monaco.
yes, yes, yes. So it looks well. Let's see. Um, Yeah, second day is pretty much Vezenko. It's pretty much Kuric and Olympiacos.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so now back here, credits designing. And here we are. Yeah, we can get anyone from Lloyd down. You talked about Slukas earlier. Um,
Look, he played well versus Bayern, but versus Partizan, FS. Mm.
yeah.
But he has to be, because he's instrumental for Olympiacos. He has to be back on his good performances.
Mm, eh, by the way, Lloyd had scored 30
Hmm.
fantasy on the third round and 28.6 on the 26th round. Um, so
I believe Jordan
21 and
Lloyd
8.
is a is a definite option in my opinion for the team.
Yeah, yeah. And at the same time, Kobo was a little bit lower in both games. So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Potentially also Satoransky could do something big and woke up, but
Yep.
I will go with Lloyd as well.
And we have 0.4 credits or three. Yeah, 0.4. If we want a different
Upgrade
player.
someone.
Yeah, for the
Would you
players
want
we
to?
have.
Would you want to upgrade anyone between Larizakis, Kanan, and Kuric?
I mean, if you put up to 5 credits, then like we can see, for example, for forward, if we don't want Kuric, yeah, less than 5.
There is Rudy instead of Kuric. Um,
But we have 4.9 for forward, right?
oh, zero point 0.4. You are absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we couldn't
So
get
for
Rudy.
Rudy, we cannot have Rudy. Uh,
Mm,
but for Larizakis, he has 5.1, so we go to 5.5. So
five.
a guard for less than 6.
Let's see. No, we can't get Taylor. And then it's between Yule and Larizakis.
I will go for Larizakis.
Yeah, I
Not,
think we
not
just leave it as it is good now.
yeah, yeah. Not because Yul cannot do it. He can do it, but
Yeah.
But I
Um,
think this team,
and who is your captain now?
I am between Lesort, Exum.
Don't
Um,
tell me the whole team.
no, no, no. I'm between Lesort and Exum, not because the other three cannot have a good game, but they definitely can have a big game. Um,
It's
in
very
it,
tricky.
it's very tricky. I would go, in my opinion, with that
Actually,
order. Exum.
yeah,
I'll put Lloyd is very close, but I'll put Exum, Lesort, Lloyd. These three, in with this order.
yeah, yeah. I was thinking Exum Lloyd mainly, but yeah,
Yep.
let's go with Exum. Then as a captain, team captain. Uh, do, 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 do. Here, Exum. And for you at home, just be sure you have deck. As with the luck we have lately, deck is gonna go 50 points game. So there it is. The first one is ready. Should we do also our second team?
Yeah.
But remember, we can't have the same players, okay?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
The rule
Uh,
applies.
Okay, so let's go deep value team. Um, Here we are.
We can have the same coach though, but different players.
You mean Gonzalez?
No, 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 no. I mean the same, the same coach.
Okay, good. So let's go to round five. We
So
have all Fener here.
yeah,
Uh,
the
we
front
can
line
keep
of
his
Fener is
Davis.
here.
If we have to keep one, we keep Exum has to go.
Yeah.
Brian, yes. Everyone goes for now. World Cup seems like a one we could keep, but let's free them all and start from the scratch. Hess Davis, probably I want him, but let's see. So, coach, we got Sarunas on the
On the
first team.
first
Should
team.
we get should we get Barzokas here?
So don't go for the surprise here.
Uh, I mean, we
We can
won't.
try. We can try with
Who
Berzoka.
do you surprise? Okay, so you see someone breaking on the first game, and is that Katas?
I was thinking Katash, to be honest. I was
Okay,
between Sasha Brodovic or Oded Katash, but Katash to me more. But again,
I was
Barjokas,
thinking more Katas as well, but maybe don't risk it.
yeah, don't risk it. Barjokas is more on the safe side, let's say. If
Why
you
don't
can
risk
have
it?
a safe side on, on these some
Yeah,
predictions.
and I was saying don't risk it because it's only 2 credits, so it's not
Yep.
like we're getting max Vitis with 5.3 versus 10. Then yeah, risk it. So let's go Barzokas then here. Now let's sort by credits descending. So we can't get Vezenkov and the sort,
Hmm.
but we can get pretty much anyone here apart from Exum that you see. I would love to get Baldwin, to be honest.
Should we? Okay. I have. I don't know a scenario that works, but I have an idea.
Yeah.
How about if we build this team around Mirotic and Baldwin?
Okay, let's get Baldwin because that's what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um, Mirotic, fair
And then we
enough.
build.
But and
Then we
then we
go.
have no money to build.
Then we go
Honestly.
again. Then we have to see this. You know,
Okay, let's
up
go.
to let's say 5 credits, for example.
Okay, so that would be very tough now to get Okay, so from the first,
I
I
will
would
go for the Silva.
Da
It's the
Silva
option. Yeah.
is the only option pretty much.
And we can go for Dimsa here or Mahmutoglu.
I'm not sure Mahmutoglu will take the playing time now.
Then Dimsa is a good option, I believe.
Mm, yeah,
Utavara
I
is a
think
nice option as well.
let's get Da Silva for now, and then we
Okay.
can replace him later, right?
Yep.
Um, so we,
For some reason,
yeah,
for some reason,
yeah.
I believe he will get some playing time. I don't know how much, but I believe Luncis also will play for Olympiacos.
Potentially he could, but Dimsa is only 0.1, and
Yeah,
he has
Dimsa for me. Yeah.
guaranteed time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So let's get him. Then I think again we talked about him earlier. I'm not sure if you take the time, but potentially is the one that he can explode. So with 4.5, he
True.
can give you 20 if he plays long. I would go with him if I want the surprise.
Okay. If we can add and then see how it
But
pans out.
the problem is he doesn't have consistent minutes. He was playing more on the first round. You see,
Yeah.
um, then his minutes have been significantly reduced. That's the only problem. You can see the
In this case, we can go with Madar because you mentioned him. Again,
true.
he had some minus 3.6 versus Real, if you see, but and only 5 minutes versus Panathinaikos, 9 versus Monaco, 6 versus Real. But versus in the
Yeah,
playoffs, you need all the players.
yeah. Both games he just played 6 minutes on each of these games, so not both. Each of the games versus Real, he played 6 minutes. Um, he had also minus here. That is a tough one. And we have Rudy with
Rudy
5. And Hanga.
and Hanga.
But 5.7 versus 5 is a big difference, right?
Well, in this
Um,
case, you if you go for let's say for the Rudy and Hilliard for these two, it's
I
five
would,
and 5.1.
mm, I mean, again, is a question about his playing time, but probably we would expect Rudy,
To
a
play.
healthy Rudy, to play, especially in playoffs.
Yeah,
He's built for big games. So I
exactly.
would go with Rudy, I think.
We can have
Right?
Rudy and Hilliard for 10.1 credits in total, and then see how many credits we have.
Oh, sorry, I have to play turn one and then leave the silver down here. And then we have, let's see, teams also playing on turn two,
Mhm.
which is up here. Mirror is also playing on turn two, but
Yeah, we cannot change. Ah, we can put. You can put Rudy.
never mind. Okay, there we are. So, how many credits? 58 for 5 positions. So maybe we need a couple of more C players, potentially, right?
I would go for Hilliard and uh, Hanga with. But no forward. We need a good forward. We need a good forward. For guards, we need two, so we can have a guard for less.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let's look at guards. So if I go on third page, we have Taylor and Di Bartolome 5. Jokubaitis 7.2. We tried and we didn't get him earlier,
We can try now again if you want.
right? Yeah. Um. Okay.
And for
We
center,
don't. We need a big center, don't we? We haven't got one yet.
so on the first team we got Nebo and Lesor.
Yeah. Oops, I got the wrong button. Um. Other credit sending. Okay. There is Tavares. There is Motley.
I I have one player in mind, and with not a lot of credits. It's not Motley. Is the exact is the exact opposite player. Is the opponent is Fall from Olympiacos.
Mm. Um. What did he do? 19.8. Yeah.
He has
But
ups
then
and
you see
downs.
it's just 4.4. Yeah. Um, I mean, what about going for one of the Zalgiris centers?
In this case, Beirutis, I wanted in the first team, but we brought Nebo, sorry. But Beirutis, to me,
Yeah.
is a nice option with 7.4. I
But
would
in term,
definitely bring
mm, not
Beirutis.
not case.
No, I prefer Beirutis, to be honest.
Right. Okay. Okay. I think we need
If you see,
one
he has
center.
17
Oh,
points,
yeah,
fantasy points, sorry, versus Barcelona.
yeah. And yeah, just thinking the way the centers of Barca is potentially, yeah, he could be okay.
Hmm.
Let's get him. Booker 7.2 is also a good price, but doesn't score that much fantasy wise, as you can see here.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have Beirutis, he's playing on turn two. And let's see, now we want turn one center, one forward, and one guard, and we have 43. Should
Hmm.
we get first center?
Yep.
From so so now we need probably someone between Tavares, Lede, Hall.
Hall. I will go for Hall.
Yeah, I think that'll be yeah, a great matchup with Nibble. I mean, he didn't do great in Israel, but did great at home. So yeah, let's get home. And then we have 31.2 for the forward and a guard. Now we have Baldwin and Mirotic as a star, so we have one each. Now, if we look at the turns, we need both probably to be turn one because all our bench plus our sixth player is turn two. Or potentially, it could be 1-1.
Let's see who we want to bring or who we can bring
Yeah.
everyone
Okay, let's have.
potentially.
Yeah.
Um,
So I have both selected, and let's go. Musa is there.
mhm.
Keep in mind, because Vezenkov is out, we can get any player we want. Because as you can see, we have enough to give the two most expensive Musa and James. So anything you see is possible in terms of
What
could
do
be.
you think? You want Hayes Davis, right? Or not? I was thinking of the duo, Kevin Pander, and then if we want Lorenzo Brown or another guard. To be
I
honest,
was, to be honest, yeah, I agree. Kevin Panther is a great idea. Um, yeah, I think is his time.
17 fantasy points and 19
He,
point.
let's also say that he's doing an amazing second half of the year. Panther is
True.
on fire.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
He's one of the main
let's
pillars for Partizan. Is like Lesort, Pander, and Axum. These three are the main pillars for Partizan success this year.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I do have my likes, and I love Hayes Davis as a player, what he brings on the board, the way he is versatile, etc. But I think in that case, we probably better off going with Panther. And there is Colson there as well, so Panther versus Colson. Mm,
Yeah, Colson. To me, that's why I asked you about Hayes Davis. I was thinking more about Axum. I mean, sorry, Colson and Pander. These two.
yeah. So since the play away, I would go with Panther.
Okay.
I mean, Colson plays away, right? That's what.
Yeah, they both play away. So then we have 18 for a guard. So again, we can bring potentially Brown, and then we can upgrade one of the remaining positions.
Um. Well, we can bring anyone. Do we want Brown or do we want Slugas or do we want Walkup Satoransky?
To be honest, with 12.5, Sluka is looking like a steal because then we have almost 6 credits to build. But he, versus Bascone seemed to be back. He seems to be back. And versus
Um,
Fenerbahce, the first game, if you see versus Fenerbahce, he had plus 18, if I remember correctly.
I think he can be trusted on getting something 15 plus,
Then you get a
15 to
minimum
12.
plus 15, so that's good if you get minimum 15 to build.
I think he can do it. Yes.
Okay,
Um,
you can
we have,
definitely.
of course, we have Exum and Lloyd in other teams, so we can't get
Mhm.
them. Brown, he could explode to 30, 35, but I want to see how the first game goes, potentially
Okay,
first.
yeah, we can bring Lucas if you want in this case and see how we can
think
spread the remaining credits
there is Guturic, but recently he's been a little bit.
on the
Um,
downside. Let's say.
yeah. I think from what I see here, I believe Lucas is
Yeah.
probably.
And I believe we have to go for from the first page, from the top tier
Yeah.
guard to be alongside
Sat-
Baldwin.
Satoransky is also a very solid selection,
Yeah, a
uh,
very solid pickup.
solid pickup because he does a little bit of everything.
Hmm.
He gets the fantasy points, but yeah, I wanna risk with Lucas. To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have how many credits? 5.5.
5.5. Yeah.
So technically, we can get a forward
Eh,
for 9.5 instead of the Silva, or a guard for 9.6 instead of Dimso.
Okay, let's see. So we have
Or,
Mirotic,
or we can
Panther.
remove both, and then we can find two players depending what we want.
Okay, so we said Panther, Mirotic. There are two good cards and play on different days. Perfect. And then we have
Forward.
forward. Sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
And then Fernandes da Silva. Yeah, you keep Fernandes probably. you get Da Silva out, and
Well, if we want
let's
to have
so we
not
try
have Rudy, we go for 10.5, right? For a forward, if you want. It's
9.5 or 10.5. I mean, it's very close. Let's just see forwards less than 11, and then we decide. Yeah,
so for 10.5, we can have Papa Nicolau.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, and Diallo.
The alloy is 10.8. We cannot have him for 0.3.
Oh, you're right. 10.5. Okay. We have Lanovas as well there. Hezonia. Hmm. And from less than 9.5, actually, we go Brasdeki, Nanali. Um,
Should we think about Butkevicius or um because if you see he contributes in many areas. He contributes also in assists and rebounds,
it,
so
do-
he can get more points.
it does, but then with the money saved, you don't.
We will have 1.5 plus if we want to spend for another guard instead of Dimsa, for example.
Okay, let's try this. So 1 point. Let's see if we take up. But Timsa gets
5.6 in this case.
but Timsa gets time on the court, right? With 5.6, probably gets the most time, I think. Um, that's
Guard.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I wouldn't take out Dimsa to be honest, because we have Larenzakis already. I would take Timo Foley for
Okay. Okay.
Larenzakis.
Mhm.
Jule, we know it will be amazing risk,
Mhm.
but don't know how it will end up.
Okay. We can keep Dimsa then,
I think
and
we keep Dimsa and we can take if we, instead of Puskevicius, we take out Fernandez for Papanikolaou. Would you like Papanikolaou? Here, then
then
we
we
have
have
Fun.
4.4. Yeah,
So we can't get Fernandez, unfortunately.
we can get a Kozer in this case.
We can get Kozer if we don't want, yeah, Da Silva. What's Da Silva? He's not doing very well, does he?
No, this season it's not the Silva from Alba Berlin.
Yeah. So I think makes more sense to risk on Cesar,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And also he plays on turn one, so yeah, you have one more player there. Um,
And I think it's a more all around team this one because you have Mirotic, Beirutis, Jukubaitis, and Papanikolaou for the second day. You have
yeah,
Dimsa as well, but I say these players on top of Slukas because Lucas plays the second day.
mm, cool.
I think it's an
Um,
all around team. With a
is
also we spent 10 credits for the coach, so I think is is a good build.
but who do you want as your captain? I think is it between Baldwin and Pander most probably.
I agree. Agree. So um
I would go with Baldwin. I think I would risk it.
I believe because Maccabi, needs scoring and Baldwin can bring score
And
for
if he
Maccabi.
explodes,
Yeah. Pander also is a score machine as well. And versus Real they need a good scorer. But I think um for Partizan I think um they can divide it to Axum and Lasort
yeah,
as well.
cool. So here it is. That's our team. Ready with Mirot is waiting on turn two to take um
The deep
the
value
cup.
team.
Yeah, to lead the deep value team into playoffs.
Yeah. We see
So
some experience in the deep value team here with Papa Nicolau, uh Slukas, Mirotic.
yeah, yeah, lots of experience there. Cool. Okay, so I think with that, we're done with our teams. Of course, we will do the usual updates with our solutions for the round on
Yep.
Twitter. But I
And
mean, most of things you already know because you
yeah,
see the way we build the teams, so you know what we're gonna say.
suggest, yeah. But we will post our suggestions on Twitter, and you will see again, the top tier options, the mid market, and the deep value options for the first playoffs round.
And finally, I wanted to mention our league, our private league. Um, we have the regular season is done now, so we can see the first teams. So you can see the first 10 in your screen. So we have some amazing performances. You see how close is the between the first two.
I
Um,
have to give compliments to all the guys and
and
congratulate because it was a close finish to the first two guys. But yeah, I have to give congratulations and compliments to all the guys who participated, and thank you for participating in the league. Is nice to see, um, this competition to be very very close, not even less than 50 credits between the first and the second position.
oh, yeah, less than 50 points, and we have the whole playoffs ahead in the final four. But yeah, amazing regular season.
Yep.
Um, I think we had some thoughts, to be honest, about next year, maybe getting a private league with some kind of prize, potentially maybe a very tiny fee for entrance, and then from the pool created, the winner can win all the money. And maybe during the regular season, I think it will be more fairer. But that's something, yeah, we will think about in the off season.
Yeah, we would
But if
like
you
your.
have any good
Yeah,
ideas, yeah,
exactly, exactly. We would like your feedback, and please feel free to share your ideas as well as Bill saying.
at least we would make it to the playoffs, right? You see that
Yeah,
we just made it there. We were lucky enough to make it.
we are going for the big upset of the of the playoffs.
Cool, great. Okay, so that was it for us, guys. Thank you all for watching that long episode. I hope you enjoyed it as we did,
Yeah,
and good luck in building your teams for the playoffs.
yeah. It's good luck, as Bill saying. Let's hope we see some exciting matches in the playoffs as we did in the regular season, and we'll uh,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
see you
update
soon.
them next time on Twitter, right? So
Yeah, of
yeah, you
course.
follow us there. I think you're already doing that if you're still watching us. So
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna update with more as per usual in our Twitters. Until then, have a great playoff round one.
Yeah. Enjoy it and see you soon.
Bye now. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.